In the year 2478, the crew of the Zephyr scout vessel Whispering Wind orbited a planet designated as ZX-237, known in older star charts as Earth. This world, with its blues and greens wrapped in swirling white clouds, appeared serene and welcoming from the safety of high orbit. Captain Vale, a seasoned explorer from Zephyr 4, gazed at the planet with his compound eyes and felt an uncharacteristic twinge of apprehension. "Scan reports," Vale asked, his voice a calm melody that belied his unease. Zill, the ship's science officer, flickered her bioluminescent crest in affirmation. "The planet is teeming with life, Captain, predominantly water-rich, with abundant flora and fauna, but—" her voice trailed off, an oddity for the typically verbose Sandman. "But?" Vale prompted, his antennae twitching in mild irritation. "The biosignatures are off the scales, Captain. This place is a death world by old galactic standards. The previous survey mission labeled it as Category X, no exploration advised." Vale chuckled, a sound like the rustling of dry leaves. "We've tamed Zor 3 and survived the acid swamps of Vecta. How bad can this Earth be?" The crew shared a collective hum of agreement, and with that, the decision was made: they would land. As the Whispering Wind descended through Earth's atmosphere, the beauty of the planet unfolded below them. Lush forests, vast deserts, towering mountains, and endless oceans passed beneath them. They chose to land in a region covered with dense vegetation, a jungle, as the ship's ancient Earth databases identified it. The moment the landing struts touched the ground, the air filled with the sounds of the alien jungle. Unseen creatures howled, chirped, and growled, creating a symphony of the unknown. The air was thick with moisture and heavy with the scent of 1,000 different plants. "Seems lively," muttered Drax, the security officer, as he checked his pulse rifle. Vale led a small team consisting of Zill, Drax, and Mila, the medic, into the jungle. The foliage was a riot of colors, and the air vibrated with the life force of the planet. As they ventured deeper, the initial awe at Earth's beauty gave way to a creeping dread. Shapes moved in the peripheries of their vision. Zill, who could sense electromagnetic fields, whispered, "Captain, something is wrong. This place feels alive, and not in a way I've ever felt before." Vale was about to respond when the ground beneath Drax's feet erupted. Massive vines, thick as Azurin's body, shot out, wrapping around Drax with terrifying speed. His scream was cut short as he was yanked into the dark underbrush. "Drax!" Vale shouted, firing his plasma cutter at the vines. But where the plasma touched, the vines seemed to absorb the energy, growing even larger. "Retreat," Vale ordered, but the jungle around them seemed to close in, the trees themselves bending inward, blocking their path back to the ship. Trapped and desperate, they pushed deeper into the jungle, hoping to find another way out. Night on Earth was a cacophony of sounds and a riot of nocturnal lights. Bioluminescent plants and animals lit up the darkness in a dazzling display of natural fireworks. The beauty was mesmerizing, but the threat was ever present. Mila, the medic, was the next to notice the change. "The flora here isn't just predatory. It's almost sentient, and it's adapting to us, our tech, our biology. I think this planet is learning how to hunt us specifically." Vale felt a chill run through his exoskeleton. This planet isn't just alive, it's intelligent, and it wants us gone. They found a small clearing and tried to set up a defensive perimeter. Zill was scanning the area when she suddenly froze. "Captain, the fabric of reality here is thin. I'm detecting anomalies that shouldn't exist." Before Vale could question her further, the air in the center of the clearing shimmered and twisted. A rift in the very fabric of space-time appeared, and from this rift, a figure emerged. It was a human, or what remained of one. Its body was translucent, flickering in and out of existence like a ghost. Its eyes were empty voids that seemed to pull at their very souls. "I am the guardian of this place," it spoke, its voice a whisper. As the words echoed unnaturally, the figure said, "You are not the first to come here seeking conquest. But Earth is not merely a death world." The figure's form stabilized into a more solid appearance. "It is a crucible, a test? Many have come believing themselves conquerors, but all have left changed, if they left at all. Victor gripped his plasma cutter, feeling a deep unease. What are you? What do you want from us? I am a remnant, the figure replied, a sentinel left behind to guard the truth of this world, the truth that you now must face. The jungle around them suddenly stilled as if every creature and leaf were holding its breath. The sky flickered like a broken screen and then, with sudden clarity, the entire environment changed. The dense jungle faded away, revealing a stark white room, infinitely large and impossibly bright. The team blinked against the sudden light. They were no longer in a jungle but standing on a smooth white floor. The air was still and sterile, the complete opposite of the vibrant living world they had just experienced. Welcome to the real Earth, the human figure said, now fully solid and dressed in a simple, unadorned uniform. Or rather, welcome to the Earth-Death World experience, the most immersive survival simulation in the galaxy. Victor and his team looked around in disbelief. Simulation? He echoed, his voice hollow. Yes, the human said with a nod. You've been in a simulated environment from the moment you entered the atmosphere. Our technology is advanced enough to create a fully immersive world indistinguishable from reality. The creatures, the plants, even the air you breathed were all part of the Death World program. Zara stepped forward, her crest dimmed in confusion and shock. But why? Why create such a simulation? The human smiled slightly. Tourism, research, education. A mix of many needs. Some species come here to test their mettle, others to study survival strategies. Earth is a legendary death world in ancient texts, and we've kept that legend alive through these programs. Max, still trying to process the shift from jungle to this sterile white room, asked, and the anomalies? The feeling that the planet was alive? Part of the program, the human explained. We add elements to challenge the perceptions and resilience of our visitors. The anomalies you detected were scripted events to push your team to the limits and see how you'd react. Tarek, who had been silent, finally spoke, his voice gruff with more than a hint of anger. So our comrade, the danger, it was all fake? In a manner of speaking, the human admitted. The sensations, the emotions, the reactions are all real, but the danger was controlled. Safety protocols ensure that we can pull you out at any time, though, as with any system, there can be irregularities. Victor thought of the terror and adrenaline, the loss of Tarek to the vines. Irregularities? The human hesitated, then said, there was an incident with a species known as the Siderians. They found themselves stuck in a desert simulation longer than intended, but such cases are rare. Your experience was within normal parameters until the very end when a slight calibration error showed you the reality. The crew of the Whispering Wind stood in stunned silence, processing everything. The lush and deadly world they had fought to survive in was nothing more than an elaborate illusion. So we were never in danger? Victor asked, the reality dawning on him. Correct, the human confirmed. You were monitored every second, and now your experience is complete. You can return to your ship and continue your journeys, knowing you've survived Earth, at least a version of it. Victor looked at his crew, seeing their mix of relief and residual fear. And if we had failed your test? The program adjusts to ensure that all participants learn from the experience. Failure is not the end. It's part of the education, the human explained. The crew of the Whispering Wind was escorted back to their vessel, each step feeling surreal on the solid metal after the imagined jungle floor. As they entered their ship, Victor turned to the human, still struggling with the enormity of what they had experienced. Will we remember any of this? That's up to you, the human said. Some choose to wipe their memories of the simulation to preserve the integrity of their real experiences. Others keep the memories as lessons learned. Victor nodded, a decision forming in his mind. We will remember. We need to remember. As the Whispering Wind departed from the orbit of the now understood Earth, Victor looked back at the blue-green planet. What had felt like a battle for survival was a lesson in humility and the limits of perception. Never again, he murmured to the crew, who all nodded in agreement.